Have you ever wondered what would happen if a gentle creature suddenly became the most brutal ruler of the swamp? Not the crocodile, not the lion, but this creature is the silent king of Africa. In the next 20 minutes, you will discover the strange but extremely intelligent behavior of the animal you thought you knew. The never-before-revealed battles for survival. The surprising truth about how a hippo can change the ecosystem of an entire river. Welcome to the Luangwa River, land of silent giants. As the sun rises in eastern Zambia, the wilds of the Luangwa Valley are still asleep. This is one of Africa's last untouched rivers, where nature has the final say. Here, the Luangwa winds like a brown ribbon through scrubland, forest and floodplains. Each stretch is a world of its own, and in the midst of it, hidden beneath the surface, lie the quietest inhabitants of the place, the hippos. They don't scream, they don't pounce, they don't show off, but that silence carries a very special kind of power. And if you're patient enough to observe, an entire underwater society will gradually be revealed. At midday, when the sun beats down on the river like a frying pan, most other animals retreat into the shade. Hippos don't need to move. They spend hours in the water, both to cool off and to moisturize their extremely sensitive skin. But that's not all. If you think they're lazy, watch their movements. A flick of the ear, a roll, a steady snort. They're holding their ground and watching. Because a young male can test the status quo in a matter of minutes. And what happens when that silence is broken? We'll see at the end. Around late afternoon, each individual began to leave the water. There was no signal, no leader to lead the way. But one by one, they stepped onto the shore, following familiar trails that were as deeply etched as time on the ground. Hippos can walk more than 5 kilometers a night to find grass. They ate in silence, heads bowed, mouths cutting clumps of grass like precision mowers. No fighting, no chasing. But what if one strayed from the trail? Or if someone else was lurking outside the grass? As the evening sun sets, the river begins to change. The deep roars that echo from the water, like drums echoing from the ground, are a message, a warning, a declaration. I'm still here. Under the shimmering sunset, the river glows orange and red. Hippos come and go, like a silent, orderly stream. But even in that order, there are still lurking uncertainties. A young male begins to challenge the leader's position. It's not always violent. Sometimes it's just a wide open mouth, showing off his razor-sharp fangs. Whoever loses heart first will retreat without having to fight. The young males begin to quietly stalk each other, sometimes lightly bumping into each other as a test. Meanwhile, the females watch from afar, choosing a resting place, keeping a safe distance. And if a confrontation does occur, it usually ends quickly, because here, victory is about keeping the peace, not destruction. And then, when dawn comes again, every individual returns. Same place, same role, as if no one had ever left. It is not just a cycle. It is a form of social memory that needs no reminder, no leader, just a harmonious coexistence. And it is this quiet rhythm of life that seems monotonous, that keeps the ecosystem around the Luangwa River breathing, continuing to nurture life. So why are they known as one of the most dangerous creatures in Africa? Their sharp teeth are not for eating, but for fighting. A single opening of the mouth can be as wide as 150 degrees, revealing two curved fangs up to 50 centimeters long, enough to seriously injure any intruder in their territory. Strange, right? A non-carnivorous animal possesses one of the most formidable weapons in nature. But in the world of hippos, strength is not for hunting, but for protection. Protection of the herd, protection of the bloodline, protection of the cycle of life. For most of the day, everything in the Luangwa River follows a fixed rhythm. Hippos wake, wallow, come ashore, and come back. There are no shouts, there are no rules. But each individual knows where he is, what he must do, and where he must not cross the line. Yet no order, no matter how strong, is immutable. In the wild, all creatures depend on respecting boundaries. But what happens when another species crosses that line? Who dares to touch the king of the water? The hippopotamus has almost no natural enemies when it is an adult. Weighing more than 1.5 tons, with a 5-centimeter thick skin and extremely strong defense instincts, it stands firmly in the middle of the African river ecosystem. But in nature, no one is invulnerable. A lone hippo, a lost calf, or moments of losing vigilance in the middle of the night can all become weaknesses. On land, hippos leave their comfort zone, and the master of patience, lions, wait at the edge of the grass where the weakest cubs will stray. An adult hippo can crush a lion's bones in one bite. But when in the open and the predator is not alone, the game changes. Many attacks have been recorded when a pride of lions joined forces to take down a hungry and tired hippo. But to do so, the price is not small. What happens when a slow-moving species meets a surprise attack? Crocodiles are masters of ambush. In murky water, they can lie motionless for hours with just a small movement from their prey, and their entire 5-meter-long body shoots up like an arrow. Normally, crocodiles avoid collisions with adult hippos, but with calves, it's an opportunity. A sudden bite from underwater, a hasty attack from a calves that haven't learned to be cautious, can lead to tragedy. And when the mother finds out, the water is no longer peaceful. During the dry season, where there is water, there is conflict. Both elephants and hippos need water to survive. But unlike hippos, elephants often come in large herds, strong and decisive, and do not care who is taking up space. A jostling, an accidental headbutt, a waterspout that hits a baby swimming. From a small gesture, tensions can flare up. Sometimes the hippo will back down, but if pushed into a corner, it will also react. We have just witnessed the confrontations between hippos and other powerful creatures in nature. The sudden attacks of crocodiles, the herd tactics of lions, or the accidental competition with elephants in the dry season. All are present. All can be seen, heard, and recorded with the naked eye. But there is another threat that does not appear in the dark, does not lurk under the water, but is present in every road, every field, every construction that stretches along the river's edge. It has no claws. It has no fangs. It does not need to touch a specific individual. Yet it is humans who are the only species that can make an entire herd of hippos disappear without leaving a trace. And then there is the even more brutal action. In some places, hippos are hunted for their teeth and meat, even though the protection law is still in effect. Their fangs, although not tusks, are traded in the market like elephant ivory, and the meat, if not discovered, is still consumed as a local delicacy. Not everyone hunts. Not everywhere has this situation. But just a few guns, a few moonlit nights, and a family of hippos can disappear forever from the map of life. We have followed the rhythms of hippos from the calm mornings by the Luangwa River, the heavy but steady steps on the wet grass at night, to the silent but sacred moments of birth. We have also witnessed the other side of that world, where crocodiles ambush, lions surround, and life and death confrontations happen without warning. And finally, when humans step in, bringing changes that do not scream, but shake the entire balance. So after all, what keeps hippos alive today? In an age where too much noise is overwhelming, too much speed is sweeping everything away, a creature that chooses to live slowly, deeply, and together is perhaps the reminder we need most. Hippos do not seek to take over the river. They ask only to be a part of it. And if possible, perhaps humans should choose to exist in this way, not to master nature, but to learn to live again within it. If you feel anything during the journey, please share, because each time you tell it, it is another opportunity for this animal to be known and preserved. Click follow so you don't miss the next stories about the quiet but extraordinary creatures living all over this planet. Thank you for taking the time to listen to something that seems so small, but is really worth preserving.